Okay, so my game is a game called Sugar Sugar. It's a browser-based game where you just draw lines to guide little sugar pieces into cups. It gets really hard towards the end. It's fun to play, but I don't think it's fun to play for 30 hours, which is probably how much time I've spent on all 3 versions of the game. Basically, if you enjoy watching an hourglass tick time away, then Sugar Sugar might be the game for you.
Track Mania Turbo. It's a little racing game that dropped from Ubisoft a couple years ago. It's been around for a while, never touched it until that point. Super addicting. It's very much like a trial and error kind of racing style game where you're constantly resetting and trying to kind of beat the flag and get the highest score. Cannot stop playing it 2 years later.
So Tenchu Wrath of Heaven is my guilty pleasure game. So my favorite part of the game is the Ronin village level. The village is swarming with samurai, enemy ninjas, it's raining out, and there's a thunderstorm. It's a perfect cover to do some killing. It's just a really great level design. I must have played that mission 100 times when I was a kid.
My favorite guilty pleasure video game is Just Dance. The crazy lights, the crazy music, everything about Just Dance just makes you want to dance. Unlike Guitar Hero, where you kind of look cool with a guitar, Just Dance throws that all away and makes you look foolish at any party.
I like to take a bunch of dance classes, so when I'm not able to go, I play the Just Dance series. I probably put so many hours into the game, as much as some of the people here at the office who played Dark Souls.
The Godfather for the Wii. It's not a great game, but it's also not terrible. Something about it, I'm not sure what it is. I think it might be the motion controls. You can grab dudes and like throw them against the wall, and then punch them in the face, and then throw them against counters. Something about it really appealed to me. I probably have some issues I'm working through.
A part of me feels absolutely no guilt for loving Bulletstorm as much as I do. This is a game that's not about how many enemies you are able to kill, but how stylishly you're able to do so. However, I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a little bit of a guilty giggle at some of the juvenile dialogue in the game.
I unironically love Donkey Kong 64. Yes, it's a crazy collect-a-thon, but like every Rare game back then, it was so full of charm and fun that hooked me as a kid. And now, almost 20 years later, I still get songs from random levels stuck in my head and think it's so cool that you had to beat the original Donkey Kong game to be able to beat DK64.
Lords of Magic is my guilty pleasure game, an old forgotten PC game made by Sierra back in the day, with a player manual so big it was bigger than most young adult novels. I really liked it because it was a game I'd never really seen before. It mashed together real-time strategy on the open world as you built up your armies and used diplomacy, and then turn-based combat on the inside. Even though it was full of glitches, I always came back to it and reinstalled it because I loved it just so much.
So my guilty pleasure game is Love Nikki on mobile devices. It's a free-to-play RPG, which is essentially kind of like Project Runway meets Final Fantasy. But don't let that description throw you. It's actually a surprisingly deep and complex RPG. But instead of going after your opponents with weapons and armor, you go after them with clothes and accessories. It's got gorgeous graphics, a stunning soundtrack, and it has a surprisingly funny script.
I've played the Resident Evil remake 13 times. And it's good, but it's probably not good enough for anyone but me to play 13 times. My favorite version is the original remake for GameCube. The updated dialogue found a way to improve the interactions while preserving the right level of cheesiness. The fixed camera angles provide an intense level of tension that I miss in modern iterations. I really hope they bring this back in the Resident Evil 2 remake, if that game ever even comes out.
MotorStorm Pacific Rift is a racing game where if the cars go too fast, they explode for no reason, and it's great. I love it. If you drive through magma while you're going too fast, you'll explode even faster, but you can cool down by driving through waterfalls and rivers and whatnot. But it's even better because you're not just racing cars, you're racing cement mixers and dump trucks and dune buggies and ATVs. It's very stupid. I think the cars can even run into each other, they can do little ramming and things. It's so stupid. It's like a big Mountain Dew commercial and the cars explode for no reason. MotorStorm, Pacific Rift, Baja Blast, Flavor Blasted, Nacho Cheesier, Cooler Ranch for your explosions.
Those were some of IGN's favorite guilty pleasure games. Do you have a guilty pleasure game of your own? Let us know in the comments, and for more videos to watch, check out some of the craziest alternate histories in games or some of gaming's best rebellions.